Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining us today as we are live from the Batcave. My name is Nate and joining me as always, 99.9% of the time, there's that small amount for when he's, in Barbados, but it is my friend and co-host.
Me, Joel. Hi guys. Barbados? I've never left the country. Thanks for that wicked introduction. I feel like it was phallicable though. Phallicable?
Well, I'll tell you what, right?
Something like that.
We'll have to cut this out because you've now narrowed down that the Batcave, in fact, is not in Barbados. Well done.
Oh no. We'll leave it for the editors to cut out.
Okay. More. How much are we paying them this week? Still below minimum?
Yeah, still the minimum wage of North Korea, which is nothing. Right?
Okay,
cool. So, yeah. Just to be clear, it's mostly either me or Nathan that edits the podcast.
When you say mostly either me or you, it is only me or you.
That might change. You never know.
If we had a bit of spice to it.
You just add a little bit of spice. How have you been doing, my guy? How's film form? And I saw that you dropped a trailer. Indeed.
So we got The Birth of Deadpool coming out on Monday, which nice. I'm excited for. Hopefully it's by no means a triumph, but it's just a fun thing that we did. Anniversary of the original film. So you're like, why not just remake it into something that you can watch and go, that's funny because it's meant to be. And not funny because it's bad. And
right.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to releasing it. I feel like it's a good way as well to kind of ease us back in, because obviously we had Nightwing and Spider-Man to do and everything, but I feel like this was a good way to ease it back because it was never planned. But also I said it to Morgan. It's kind of funny because we have Morgan's version of Deadpool, and he has a film in the old era of film form and the new era, and it's the same film and the same Deadpool. So it's right. It's as if he's kind of just carried himself across. He's like, hey, I want to be a part of both of these versions. So yeah. Even though I would argue that this is possibly a new era also, and that it was kind of the first era was really bad films, and then the second era was Spider-Man. No, it was Destiny to Spider-Man. Well, to both, I'd say. And now there's a new era, but let's just pretend it's all one, and that, Deadpool's in both.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, the new era of filmmaking is coming in, right? Because now I'm involved. Ooh, saucy. A little bit of compliment for myself. No, yeah, I can't wait to make some films with you guys and stuff like that. That's gonna be the greatest thing. I think that's one of these things. We watch something every week on this podcast. And then, you sort of get into the mindset of being a critic, right? But realistically, the only reason we either, review these films or, criticize them, which we hardly ever do, we mostly say nice things about things we like.
It's cool.
It's normally because we both enjoy making films. And if we ever think this is a bad thing or this has been done badly, most of the time we're saying that because maybe we think maybe we could have done better with the budget that these films are given.
Yeah.
Bloodshot was a marvel, and that was one of the ones that we probably criticized, but mostly we're pretty nice. But yeah, we're gonna make some films. We're gonna make some superhero film themed things together because your channel is superheroes and my mind is films. Not that your mind isn't also films now, but yeah. I've got some videos in the works, including something with film form coming up relatively soon. Not very soon, but it's in the works.
I mean, yeah, we still got to wait on 3 other people first, but
yes,
person number 1 is pretty much finished with it.
Nice.
And person number 2 and 3, I have no clue. So yeah.
Well, hopefully by the time it gets around to my turn to do something very specific, I'll have access to our friend Ginger's gimbal.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, let's hope so. Okay, well, Nathan, I know it has been a slow news week, Comic-Con did happen, but I don't know much about it because I wasn't able to make it to the full at-home viewing of Comic-Con. But what I do know is that things happened, and there were trailers, and I saw the 2 trailers that interested me. So that's my 2 pieces of news this week, plus a little bit of just other stuff. But other than that, just normal type review of the film we watched this week, because we've both got small amounts of I would say small amounts of news.
It's not too much. What I will say in regards to Comic-Con, lots of exclusive Funko Pops, and I have been swallowing them up. I got the Nightcrawler today, and I got Harry Potter for my girlfriend, and I also bought I got the Marty McFly one come in, and I've got the Stanley Hugh Hefner one also, which I'm looking forward to. And then I really want to get the Iron Bob from Jane Silent Bob reboot, but that's only Forbidden Planet, which is in Cardiff. Which I don't even know if there is one in the Cardiff one in Cardiff. But I'm not able to get there anytime soon. But yeah, that's been great. So do you want to hear I've only got one piece of real news, just because again slow news week, and anything that big that really happened was Comic-Con, but even that I was a bit bummed out with. Not that very much impressive stuff that went on, but
yeah, sure. Give us the rundown.
So it's a news about the Snyder Cut. I know I always bear you with this knowledge, but Zack Snyder, there's always been kind of bits and bobs of people saying, oh, it's going to include some Joss stuff, it's going to take it all out, blah blah. But Zack Snyder has vowed that his Justice League cut will not, under any circumstances, use any of Joss Whedon's footage. Now, I don't know if this was the plan from the start, or whether it's because of the the newer news that surfaced. But yeah, he is adamant that there will be no Joss Whedon shot footage, which obviously begs question. Obviously Zack had to drop out early. It was not all completed, and Joss had to film a lot. So are they going to reshoot? Are they going to get doubles and deepfake? Are they going to
I think that's an interesting question, because technically they could do all sorts of that sort of stuff, couldn't they? They could reshoot now that everyone's signed back on to do reshoots, because I know they're going to reshoot some stuff anyway. But I think a lot of it may be that he's saying he's not going to use any of Josh's footage, but there may be footage that he's already done that is going to be enhanced by CGI in his version, and maybe they'll use a lot of that.
Hopefully, because this is the thing, as much as I'm not feeling vibes from Joss Whedon at all, I don't really want him to just cut everything he did just for the sake of it's the fact that he did it, because if it's going to bear them that much a burden, obviously I know it's not what Zack Snyder wanted anyway, but if it's really going to set them back, then
I don't know, man. This is supposed to be Zack Snyder's Justice League, right?
Yeah.
And if the fans really demanded it as much as they did, and we're delivering it, we want what Zack Snyder is envisioning now, because it's not going to be what he envisioned at the time. As much as everyone believes that, it's not going to be what Zack Snyder what he really
2016
wanted in that time. He knows he's a director, and he knows his job is to appeal to the masses that will watch this film. And people who have already watched this film have likes and dislikes, and he is going to appeal to those likes and dislikes, and that's why we're going to probably get a better Justice League film. But it's going to be his new version of the Justice League, not the one that he envisioned back then.
Well, you say likes and dislikes. Not to bring it up again, but I'm going to bring it up again. Do you reckon they're going to do a little bit of the tinkering with the colour of the Flash's lightning, seeing as there was a pretty big backlash?
Oh, yeah, I think they might do. that. They're definitely going to recolor the things with the parademons. Yeah. We got a really cold version of the parademons when everything was supposed to be on fire, and the lookup tables and the LUTs and the colour grading that they were supposed to have originally in Zack's version was red tones, and there was fire going on, and it was a really chaotic scene because there was all these things going on, whereas though Joss made it big grey demons, big grey monsters, big grey everything.
Yeah.
So I think, we're going to see a lot more colour and maybe a variation of colour, which hopefully translates to the Flash getting some yellow or, yellow lightning.
Orange lightning, yeah. I also really hope that we get a more in-depth look at... I'm not going to say Diana specifically because...
Right.
Personally, I feel like she's the one who was looked at the least in the original cut, because obviously she had her own film and she was in BVS, so I feel like they were kind of like, let's just introduce the new characters, which is fine, but
a lot of Cyborg standing around though.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, yeah, he's got this. It's like, bro, he looks really cool. Yeah, let me see him doing stuff with it. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't want to see him with a jacket on all the time, and
Yeah, Cyborg really did so much in that film, and all of that so much was doing nothing. He did absolutely nothing in that film. He could have not been in that film.
But one of the best things to come out of it, right, was the scene right at the end where he changes his chest plate into the the OG Cyborg circle, which again, the only good thing about it, it lasted 2 seconds. But and also just the one line of I can't feel my toes, but I just feel like it was forced anyway. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like the actor that plays Cyborg, and I like Cyborg as a character, but realistically, he was in that film as just an Easter egg to what mother boxes were.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was it.
I think it was that, and also just we have more connections with Star Labs other than just Barry Allen.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
That was going to lead into the Flash film. Which I like. I absolutely love how, right, I both love and hate. Hate, realistically, but love in the ironic way. The fact that we're getting the second version of the same Justice League, well, not the same, but of the Justice League before we're getting Flash, which was set to come out last year.
Yeah, well, we're in 2020 now, and how many times have we been told that we're having a Green Lantern either movie or TV series?
Bro, pretty much since 2011. The Green Lantern
movie was supposed to be coming out this year, like right now.
Bro, pretty much since 2011. They made that one, and they were like, right, we're working on different Green Lantern stuff, and then here we are.
Yeah, here we
9 years later.
We are today. Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm excited to see it though, because realistically, the Justice League in the comics, and the Avengers in the comics, they work differently. And in the films, they're going to work differently. With the Avengers, they took so long to get to Thanos, and it's not a bad thing. They had other threats, and those other threats were those things, because those were what the heroes could deal with at that point. Then we saw what the heroes couldn't deal with in Infinity War, and how they learnt to deal with it, and they grew as heroes. There was character development. It was a great storyline from Iron Man 1 all the way up to Endgame. No lie about that. DC works differently. Those heroes can handle a lot. Yeah. Superman is inherently one of the most powerful beings in the universe because of a race of people that he is from. One of the biggest Superman villains is Zod, and that's just because he is from the same planet as him. He's just inherently super powerful, right? Even if we've got a younger version of Superman that doesn't know what he's doing or anything like that, even within that, he still deflects bullets. There's nothing on Earth that can hurt him apart from kryptonite, and kryptonite is only brought to Earth as a plot point. It's when you bring big villains to storylines, in Marvel, it's going to be a big event, and they're going to bring stuff. But villains in DC, they have a sort of different thing. It's not that, we're going to do these storylines with these minor villains until, then we have the big villain. In DC, it's more we're going to have this big villain, you're going to defeat him, but barely, and he's going to come back another time. Yeah. And it's with the Batman formula, he chucks him in Arkham, and they get out of Arkham. It's the same old thing. because he's never going to kill them. That's just who he is. And Superman doesn't kill either, by the way. This is a underrated fact about the big man. Although we've seen him do so in films and media, he prefers not to kill. Which means if people are doing things wrong, he will put them in prison. He will not kill them. Which is what we do with most of the Justice League stuff. And, you know, if you're going to do the Marvel formula of smaller villains, then a big villain that they have to take on, and you're not going to give us Darkseid straight away, which I think you can just give us Darkseid straight away, because the DC universe is so expansive that you could just build on that, even if you wanted to make a bigger villain than Darkseid, easily bigger villains than Darkseid in the DC universe.
Yeah.
You know, if you wanted to do smaller villains, then give us some stories that don't include big grey monsters, right? You could have done as a massive villain for the Justice League to take on Randall Savage.
Because that's the thing, is like, even though the DCU, yeah, it's like, you know, it is gritty and dark. Like, they just feel like they need to make everything more dull toned. Like I like Henry Cavill's Superman suit, but it's evidently a much darker suit. You know, I like the Flash's suit and Wonder Woman's suit, but it's evidently a lot darker suit. Other than what we're going to see in Wonder Woman 84, which is clearly a lot more vibrant. Mm-hmm. Like, they're evidently toning everything down. Like, Aquaman...
Well, this is the thing. I think we're getting black suit Superman now, right? This is one of the pieces of news. We're getting black suit Superman in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And although that's duller, at least it's what we wanted. Right? Yeah. At least it's something that we wanted. And, you know, with the sort of restraints and stuff that Warner Brothers has put on the film in the past, I think this time around we're gonna get a lot. What I don't want, though, is the thing that Spider-Man 3 suffered from, which is too many cooks in the kitchen. Because apparently we're going to get introduced to Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern, as well as the characters we're already introduced to in the Justice League.
It's just it's not needed. Like,
I think it's a cool addition, dependent on how they do it. I don't think they were supposed to be in the original film.
I don't think it's needed for this reason, right? They have so many... They have, like, villains that are in the big league and villains who aren't... Well, okay, rephrase. They have villains who are extremely overpowered and villains that are a lot to handle, but, like, they're like little to no actual powers. But, you know, think of, like, the Batman Rogues Gallery. Do you know what I mean? But what I'm starting to see is that they're always trying to be like, right, let's go for the best villain so that this film will make stonks. And yeah, right, maybe the film will if you do it right. But then after then what? You know,
when do you go?
You're not, like, you know, the MCU.
Yeah, but I think also, right, you've got so many villains in DC, like Spider-Man, and I'd say, right, yeah, well, Spider-Man and like maybe the Fantastic Four are to me the only people in Marvel to have a rogues gallery. Though a lot of people in DC have that rogues gallery. Like, in Marvel, a lot of the enemies are transferable.
Shared.
Yeah. And, like, Spider-Man has a rogues gallery, fair enough, and that's probably why Spider-Man's one of the most beloved and greatest Marvel heroes, because he, you know, swings around, he's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and he goes against the likes of Green Goblin, Doc Octopus, and Electro, all of those types of people. Then you've got Batman, who goes against, like, the Joker, you know, Mr. Freeze, Clayface, a million people, the Penguin, and stuff like that. In DC's singular films, they are bringing more villains in than they are bringing in the, you know...
Yeah.
The collective films, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think the Suicide Squad film did it perfectly. They just executed it badly, which was a team fighting one villain.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, with this Batman film now, we're getting the Batman Rogues Gallery in it. We're gonna get a Penguin in it. We're gonna get, you know, a couple of different people in it. But there's gonna be a main villain, and then there's gonna be people who are there.
Yeah.
I think with the Justice League, there are so many people who are connected to Darkseid. It doesn't have to be just a Darkseid, but you know, they don't give you the same thing that they give you in the comics. In the comics, we do have those little battles that lead up to Darkseid sometimes, but that's only because it's like the daughter of Darkseid or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And it's never like things like that. If there is an event in which the Justice League needs to come together in order to solve, it is a big event. Justice League by Joss Whedon could have been solved by Superman.
Yeah.
Right?
110%.
110%. If not even just Aquaman.
Bro, I feel like the only two people that couldn't have been solved by, well, saying that, I'll say 3. No, you know what? I'll go back to 2 because Bruce Wayne. I was gonna say he couldn't solve it just because of the lack of actual powers, but I feel like he could have found ways around it. I feel like the Flash
he's probably got like 1 million bat drones.
Yeah, bro. Like I feel like the Flash, just because of how newbie he was, and also Cyborg.
The Flash in these films is also, in my opinion, power scaled so weirdly.
Yeah.
Like, he's got the Flash's powers, which should just innately make him, like, OP. But then just his personality and the way he uses the powers is the thing that brings it down. And you're not really giving me an inexperienced Flash. You're giving me a guy who can barely run when his power set is the fact that he can run fast.
Yeah.
Like, he jogs with his feet in the air. Like, yeah.
I wanna take something back. I said Flash and Cyborg. I'd even go as far to say that Cyborg could have handled it in ways, because obviously his suit does that defense mode that just activates.
Yeah, man.
Like, he just does it for himself, and like he doesn't have to worry about it. So yeah,
I think like it was one of those things, and the villain was bland. You know,
yeah,
parademons and shiz, just all of that crap. Just give me some boys, right? Give me some big boys. Like Iron Man 1, right? We had one of the biggest Iron Man villains.
Yeah.
Right? Because we had Iron Man come back from where is it? Where does he build it? Is it in like Syria or something?
Somewhere in some Afghan, like, you know.
Right, but we get like, you know, Iron Man, he comes back from his trip and he's Iron Man and all of this stuff, and he's doing things. And then instantly we get introduced to the Ironmonger. Which is just like, you know, one of those things of, he's like an Iron Man specific villain, but like, I mean, sometimes he's not even a villain, to be fair. But like, he's an Iron Man specific villain, but he's one of those ones that is like, oh, if I read the comics, I know who this guy is.
But that's the thing as well. It's like I was going to say earlier, you wouldn't go from Thanos to Ironmonger, but going from Ironmonger to Thanos, obviously people in between, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If the villain in Iron Man 1 was Thanos, then people it'd be a very, very weird film, but people would be like, damn, this could be cool, Iron Man versus Thanos. And then if in Endgame the villain was Ironmonger, people would be like, why?
People would be like, bro, you give us Thanos in this movie, and like we're expecting like Galactus or something, and you give us Ironmonger. Yeah, well, that's exactly what it's like in DC, dude.
Literally.
But BVS, we get Doomsday, someone that Superman can't take out by himself, and you know, and then in the Justice League we get parademons.
Yeah.
Like, I get that the Justice League had a little bit more than parademons, but not that much, right? Like, big grey villains. It
like the thought. I don't know what the thought process was
No, me neither. Like, it didn't even have to be Darkseid. I'm trying to think of another villain that would be hard for one of them to take on. So they'd need multiple. Like, endless Superman villains, right? Because there could be... Superman can take on Lex Luthor when Lex Luthor's being Lex Luthor, but when Lex Luthor gets in a giant kryptonite-powered mech suit, and then has, like...
Not even that, though. Like, get Lex in a kryptonite suit, yeah, but then get someone who's not as strong, like, maybe, like, Deathstroke, like, he's got no powers, per se, but, like, put him somewhere else in either the US or in the world or something.
Take some notes from Stargirl. Put a team against a team.
Yeah, put a team against a team, but if not, team against a team, but at the same time, if need be, spread out the villains so that the team has to split up, making it harder for them, and say, no, 2 people go after Deathstroke, when realistically the 2 people who went after, let's say, the Penguin were more suited to go after Deathstroke. That causes challenges. They've gone halfway across the world, and they're not too suitable to fight him. Do you know what I mean? And then eventually... team up for whatever the...
what it would have been sick for me, We've seen The Flash as a rookie, right? And The Flash has one villain that he always, like, even in the comics, has a tough time dealing with, right? And I think a lot of them would have a tough time dealing with him. Maybe Superman could take him, but, like, depends on which version of him you're giving us. If you give us a super-powered Gorilla Grodd, man, that Justice League movie would have been sick.
Bro, don't even get me started. Like, it gets to the point where, like, even when I hear things like this and I hear people saying, oh, what if this and what if this, and it's generally so good that it's like, how has a fan thought of this?
Yeah.
Like, it's not even something that needs loads of effort. Like, I'm sure you haven't sat there for months and then trying to figure that out. Like, do you know what I mean?
No, I haven't looked at the Justice League and been like, right, okay, so the best villain for the Justice League is Gorilla Grodd because it's a fan pleaser. He's actually super powerful. The Flash wouldn't be able to deal with him because this is this version of the Flash. It's a good freaking villain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can make the villain as powerful as you want to make them, as long as they are someone who is, inbound into the DC universe. Like, we don't need the Anti-Monitor right now. The Anti-Monitor is like an end-game type villain, right? But you know who you could give us? If not Gorilla Grodd, Brainiac.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Brainiac, like Superman's ever defeating Brainiac. He never gets, Brainiac always gets away. He never defeats him properly. Like, Doomsday, obviously, would have been a sick choice for Justice League, but they wasted that opportunity. But, right, so say, here's a good one. We don't introduce the Green Lantern in the Justice League. And then we gave them a space villain, and we're like, you know what, dude? You've never met the Green Lantern Corps, but you have to deal with Sinestro.
Bro,
bruh.
This is what I've said it, bro. I can't fathom why, it's so hard. If it's about, they have the money. Someone has said, you could make a Green Lantern film. People have said, you can do this, as long as the story's good. And the story's never good, and that's why they're always getting cancelled, or delayed, or whatever it is. And it's this is the thing. To make a really, really good story, it can be difficult. But to make a good concept, it's not. And that's where they're falling flat on the concept. And that's why things aren't getting made. And then when things get made, they're like, yeah, the concept was banging, so we didn't have to worry about the story. Oh my god, I'm gonna have a meltdown. Yeah. I've gone too harshly into this now.
I agree completely though. Do you know what I mean? There's villains that I would have rather had seen in this, I name a million, right?
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things of, technically some of them are specific to certain characters. But, this is your version of the Justice League. Make it whatever you like, right? Doomsday killed off Superman, so we can't have Doomsday. But that doesn't mean you're out of characters for a Justice League team-up. You have a whole expansive DC universe in order to make these things. You know who's a really tricky character for all of them to deal with? Even if it's not on a one-on-one fight where they have to punch each other? Anyone with a brain. Because the time and time again, what we have found out about the Justice League is that Batman and a few others maybe at some point are the only people with a brain, and that like most of the time it's punch go her, and that's how we win, right? If you give someone the ability to go up against the Justice League with super intelligence, you have to face the greatest detective in the world, which would have made Ben Affleck's Batman a lot more interesting, and also would have given, you know, us a reason to develop the characters, in which all we have seen from them so far is them beating up giant grey villains. Like, they would have had to actually use their brains. Maybe we could have seen Clark Kent as a reporter.
I feel like they're definitely trying to get it so that they're like, right, let's pick a villain that each hero can in some way fight against it. Like, they don't need to do that. If there's a villain that's in everyone's league, bar Aquaman, find a way for him to be useful. Don't just try and find a villain that'll suit them all. Do you know what I mean?
No, exactly. Like, even that.
It's like, if someone's
said
like,
there, bro. I don't know one Justice League member that's going to be able to do anything against Black Manta apart from Aquaman. You give Aquaman a real, like, giant wound at the start of the film, you make a really interesting Black Manta Justice League. You know what I mean?
Literally.
Like, it's so simple to give just power to the villains, because they're already villains for a reason. They're already hard to deal with for a reason.
Like, if they did Reverse Flash, the Flash is the main person who could do that. Superman is a second. Other than that, like, no one can keep up with the speed of him. Wonder Woman, possibly to some extent, but, you know, Bruce Wayne
the
can
Reverse
find...
Flash would stonk all over Wonder Woman.
Well, there we are, exactly.
Even
but they
Superman, it's like the Flash can barely keep up with him.
Exactly, right? So that's... Like Bruce Wayne can get help with some tech, you know, tack your own device. If you've done that a lot on the show, maybe Bruce Wayne makes something like that. Like Wonder Woman, if they end up catching Reverse Flash for a brief period of time, lasso of truth, find out the plans, she's useful. She doesn't need to be beating the shit out of him later on, like, in order to, like, have use there. As long as she... they're not going to get the true truth out of him. Without the lasso of truth, she's sorted. Aquaman... you know, find a way that he can help out. You know, if there's anything, like, it's not. You don't need.
Right, he can summon the ocean.
But there we are. Yeah, but they can run on the ocean though, can't they? Speedsters. So I mean, they can just run on water, bro.
Yeah, I know, but he can, like, create a mad barrier, so the guy has to run upwards, right? Instead of running, like, just flat. Like, he can summon the ocean and, like, make tidal waves and tsunamis that, you know, that speedsters are gonna have trouble with. Or chuck the man underwater.
Point proven then. Exactly. Like, there's so many different... Like, Cyborg. His you know, Cyborg element of him has an automatic defense system. Therefore, whatever the Reverse Flash is running, that suit's just going to be able to lock onto it. Like, he doesn't need to do any, you know, advanced... He doesn't have to try and do some perfect timing. The robot outfit will do it for him.
An amazing scene for Cyborg in our fictional Justice League film that we're creating right now.
Yeah.
An amazing scene for Cyborg, right? Say you have the Reverse Flash and he's currently, like, just, like, beating the shit out of people, right? Like, he's already taken down the Flash, because the Flash in this version of, you know, the Justice League we got with Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon is just incompetent, right? So he's already out for the count. Superman can't deal with his, like, around the world punches. Like, they're more powerful than Kryptonian punches. Like, Aquaman is way too fast for Aquaman. Aquaman hasn't summoned the ocean at this point. You know, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman is barely deflecting punches. Like, she's doing it, you know, just with her bare instincts. And during this entire time, the Reverse Flash is also hitting Cyborg. But, like, obviously he's hitting everyone at super speeds. But Cyborg is there, and he's trying not to get destroyed before his computer system can calculate where he's going to strike next so he can make a counterattack.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Bro.
you just, that sequence alone, just a sequence of, like, they're losing, they're on the back foot, Cyborg does something, which is like a last-ditch effort, and he's trying to make this counterattack, but, like, his body is slowly being destroyed by the punches from the Flash, and then eventually, he has the perfect calculation. He knows exactly where he's going to be. He's hit him so many times, he knows where the next punch is going to be, and he just beams the guy with a with a giant explosion. Bruh, make the man useful.
Exactly. Like, it's not, like, we've just done that in, like, granted, we're not going to turn that exactly into a film. Like, you have to put more development into it, do you know what I mean? But
yeah, you're not actually going to make that into a film yet.
We've just done that.
When I work at DC.
Of 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, we've done that in a matter of 5 minutes, whether it takes them years to make a film that just doesn't end up being good. Like, there isn't even, like, I'm not going to go as far to say there isn't one good sequence in the Justice League movie that we've seen. But, like, off the top of my head, there is nothing.
You know what it was with Marvel as well? Marvel had a lot of characters that were just not popular until Marvel films made them popular. And that's why they got away with using such obscure villains, such obscure heroes, in order to make films that were good, right? DC are looking at this like they have chips on the table. They're looking at this like this is a poker game, and they want to get all the money from the viewers, but they want to retain all of their best stuff. So they're like, well, we have obscure heroes too, but that's not what we're going to do. We're going to get your money by showing you that all of your favorites are going to be in this film, but then we're going to try and use, like, which we're going to be like, no, you can't have the Joker yet. You can't have, in this Batman film, or, like, no, you can't have, Lex Luthor be anyone but Jesse Eisenberg yet. Like, they're playing their chips in a really stupid way, in which, like, you have access to everything, right? Like in Wonder Woman, who's the final boss in Wonder Woman? Because this is like one of the best DC films, but it's still not great for me anyway. It's like it's a giant grey guy again, isn't it?
Bro, look at any DC EU film. It's always a giant grey guy in some form.
Do you know what I mean? But she has, like, access to some of the greatest, like, Wonder Woman villains that could work against even the Justice League. Like, one that I think could be Justice League level, Ares. The Greek god Ares, god of war, could have, been a major Justice League villain, right? And he doesn't have to be some rando grey guy. You could cast him as a dominating actor, like a dominating force, and make his entire, Ares role, whether he uses armor, whether he uses the Ares helmet at any point in time, doesn't matter. Just make sure that actor can portray domination great. And then you have, like, an amazing guy that then you can use the hordes. They don't have to be parademons. They can just be, like, Greek soldiers, like war soldiers and stuff. He even has the ability to turn mortals into war soldiers because he is the god of war. He could turn the Justice League against each other at some points. Like, I'm gonna
go back to your, like, analogy of poker. This is how I feel like exactly how they're doing it. Marvel, they see someone throw in a 10. They're like, okay, I'll raise you that 10. Worst case scenario, I lose that 10. Best case scenario, I get 20. DC are going, we have these bangers that people love. We're going all in. People love our characters. What's the worst case scenario? Nothing, because people love them and we're going to get it all back. In reality, there's been some films where, they will get the money back. There's a lot of the films that, I'll say no more.
They're slowly, losing. Like, this is another thing, a piece of news. I'll just slot these pieces of news in as we're speaking. Another piece of news, the DC streaming service is currently not taking any more yearly subscriptions and will only take monthly subscriptions because they're about to fold it into HBO Max.
Yep.
Like, this is another thing. Like, DC couldn't stand by itself as a streaming service, or it wasn't profitable enough to stand by itself as the streaming service. And I don't even think that's, like, down to, they released a lot of good content that they were like, this is going to be good content and it's going to come to the streaming service. But it wasn't, Marvel level, and then people were like Disney Plus or DC streaming service. Cool, I get Batman the Animated Series reanimated. That's nice. But you could do that without the streaming service. Disney Plus is like everything Disney, including Marvel. They needed the HBO part of this, so that's what they're doing now. I feel like they're on the right track to start making good things now, but the things that they've failed on in the past, they desperately need to learn from. I do not want to see Ezra Miller's Flash flailing about again. And if I do have to see it in Zack Snyder's Justice League, you better give me a good Justice League. Give me the villains that we deserve as DC fans, because everyone knows that we stick around for the villains. We watch the heroes, but we always have our favourite villains.
Bro, everyone has their favourite villains. If not, like, people have favourite villains more than they have favourite heroes, because everyone's like, oh yeah, my favourite hero is this, my favourite, this Superman. What's your favourite villain? It's like, oh, see, I like Joker, but that Doomsday is pretty cool. Oh, Penguin. What a guy. Reverse Flash, banger. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's always a hero that sticks out to everyone, but when it comes to a villain...
I know one of the most things that I've heard in the past is, I like so-and-so because of the stories in which they fight the villain so-and-so. Like, a lot of people like The Flash because of the Reverse Flash. A lot of people like Batman because they love the Joker.
Yeah.
Like... and DC are capitalizing on that, in which they're like, this is a cool film, we're going to base it around the Joker, it's called Joker, and then, they've tricked you into watching a film that is barely DC, but it was still a banger.
Yeah.
That was okay. The trickery part was a bit but they made a good film, so I'm okay with it. Then, we have to move on to what they've done in the past and what they're going to do in the future. Like, The Batman. I am excited for The Batman. The Batman is this new universe in which I don't have to look at the crap that they've given us in the past. But also, the new Suicide Squad that was made by the same person that made Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, to me, sorry Guardians of the Galaxy fans, Suicide Squad is so much cooler than the Guardians. And James Gunn, who made the Guardians amazing... what he's going to do with the Suicide Squad is to me going to be great.
I can definitely agree. Obviously, I don't like the Suicide Squad film that's already out, but...
No, this is like a soft reboot, I think.
Yeah. I personally, 100% agree, Guardians was absolutely not what it was before the films. And obviously that was James Gunn's doing.
I'm talking from the comics perspective at the moment. Like, if we're comparing the films, Suicide Squad is the worst team up in history. That's what I mean. The second best.
That's what I mean. Absolutely. Like, I know we're all about comics now and like just the characters in general, but like Guardians wasn't what it was at all until the films happened.
Yeah, like the Guardians
obviously
of the
that
Galaxy,
was big.
to me,
James Gunn's
in the comics, we're always just, oh, cool, that's where Rocket Raccoon is.
Yeah.
Right? So it's
literally,
like, oh, the Guardians, cool, that's like Rocket's team. And like the Suicide Squad was always this like mishmash of villains that had, explosives implanted into them, so they had to do hero work. And I'm like, oh, so cool. But also, you get to swap the people out, and you get to see people die. Like, it's not called the Suicide Squad for nothing. People die.
Yeah, legit.
Like, it's an amazing concept, and even when you don't have Amanda Waller involved, but I always like Amanda Waller being involved in those stories because she is such a, like, in a PG way, like, dominatrix person. Like, she's like, cool, I don't like you. You've been captured, you've been imprisoned, now you've got a bomb in your neck. Batman can't kill you, but I sure can.
Yeah.
Like, and that's one of the things to me, I'm like, Harley Quinn on the Suicide Squad, as she always is like, great, okay, cool. It's understandable. She's a villain, but she's working as a hero because she doesn't want to get her head blown off because Batman's not going to do it, but Amanda Waller will. But again, just that for everyone, right? Like, King Shark. Like, oh, dude. Like, Killer Croc's alright, but like King Shark in the Suicide Squad. Anyway.
Pure stonks.
Right. It's going to be a banger, hopefully, because I trust Zack Snyder a lot more than what I trust Joss Whedon in right now. Like, I will say Joss Whedon has made some great films and TV shows, ones that I have loved for ages. But the Joss we have right now is not the Joss that made Buffy. It's not the Joss that made, like the Avengers.
Yeah.
It's not that Joss anymore. It's like this Joss has gone through some stuff. He's not been great to his actors at this point. Like, he's going through some controversy at this point in time, and the man definitely needs a reinvention. So I'm trusting Zach with this film a lot more than I would trust him with it, because we've already seen him fail at doing it.
Yeah, I feel like what we got to take away from this segment is just the future of the DCU definitely looks better, because we have Zack Snyder back in full position of Justice League, James Gunn on Suicide Squad, and Wonder Woman 84 looks alright. So yeah. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to all the stuff. And also, by the way, with the DC TV shows, which is, by the way, the best thing that DC has ever done in their lives, because I get to consume DC constantly because of this, they're also giving us the Green Lantern that we've always wanted. They're also giving us Stargirl, which I never knew I wanted, but now I need. Like, they're giving us good stuff on the DC TV show place. So the guys who are running the TV show stuff, just props to them. DC TV shows are, at the moment, because obviously the Disney Plus stuff hasn't come out yet, are at the moment top tier superhero TV shows. They could be joined by Marvel, or they could be surpassed by Marvel, but we're yet to see this. And I've had probably 7 years of The Flash now. I'm going to have like 1 year of Winter Soldier. Is it really going to surpass The Flash for me? Who knows? Yeah.
Okay, before we get on to two trailers that I've watched, and I'll ask you if you've watched them in a second, there's something that I'm pretty sure you don't know about. But I want to ask you, have you ever seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Bro, I know about it. Yes, I have seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl. And bro, oh my god. I know what you're about to say, bro. And there's some news.
So they are making a film called Let's Be Heroes. I believe that's the title of it so far.
Something along the lines of, yeah.
Oh, no, it's We Can Be Heroes. Sorry,
We Can Be Heroes.
Not Let's Be Heroes. I just... Let's Be Heroes is OKKO. That.
Do you reckon it's going to be... soundtrack to the We Can Be Heroes everywhere we go? We can stop and stop. Do you reckon it's going to be... that to the point?
It has to be, or otherwise I'm just going to be so offended. So Shark Boy and Lava Girl was like in the time of when they used to make kids films in the same veins of like Spy Kids and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah. Which, by the way, a banging saga, no matter what anyone says.
yeah. But this is the thing for me, right? Okay, so the Robert Rodriguez, the director that is supposed to be directing this film, also directed The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl in 3D, which is the title of the film, technically.
Yeah.
He is someone that has a really interesting career, right? He directed From Dusk Till Dawn. He directed Desperado, right?
Yeah.
He also directed Spy Kids and The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl. He's a frequent collaborator with Quentin Tarantino, as you can see by the fact that Quentin was in From Dusk Till Dawn. But he's also like gone from like these, high violence things, and he co-directed the Sin City films. But then he also does these like child-friendly ones. Now I think this is going to be the one for like everyone who followed his child-friendly stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be like probably an amalgamation of his child-friendly universe. But what we know so far, The plot is, after their parents have been kidnapped by alien invaders, the children of Earth's superheroes team up and learn to work together to save their parents and the world. Shark Boy and Lava Girl have a child, basically.
Bro, imagine just a little motherfucker running around with the powers of shark and the powers of, well, I was going to say a lava, but it's lava girl's
Everything
powers,
was
yeah.
fine until the shark lava nation attacked.
Just imagine, bro. Just essentially, it's like seeing a shark swimming in lava. Like, that's what the power is.
I'm guessing
and, like, oh my
that's
God.
what we're going to get. But
Can you imagine if we get the same really corny CG VFX in the film?
Well, that's what
bro?
I mean, right? In 2005, when Robert Rodriguez made these, like, high concept, like, corny VFX type films that
all
were
shot on a
basically
green
all
screen.
shot on a green screen,
Yeah.
Like, it was passable, but they never made any money either. Like Spy Kids did, but like Shark Boy and Lava Girl was, beloved by all, but was a massive box office flop. It barely made any money at the box office. I think it made like 10 mil, but the budget was 50, which meant they didn't make any money, because obviously the budget of the film is always doubled by the fact that you have to market the film.
Yeah.
So it basically made no money. And, like, he's coming back to this, but I just feel so excited for this, and I don't know why.
Bro, I don't know why. I found out, and I was just like... I said to Morgan, I was like, bro, I am genuinely excited. Like, this is an actual feeling of excitement.
What's so mad is, as a filmmaker, I should hate Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I love Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Right, okay, no. Listen, right. As filmmakers, we should hate Sharknado, right?
Right.
We should love Shark Boy and Lava Girl and Spy Kids.
I do love the Spy Kids things. I think the Spy Kids things were like things that were just great. I just love the fact that they had Machete in them.
Yeah.
They had Josh himself from The Flash.
Bro, it's just Danny Trejo on it, bro. Like, literally, like, it's Boots, bro. It's Boots from the Dora film.
Yes. What do you think is coming from this? Because this is the last thing I want to speak about before we review the two trailers and then move on to the what we watched. Because, by the way, guys, I'm excited to talk about the what we watched this week.
What was the question, sorry?
I said a lot there. The question was, what do you think is going to happen in We Can Be Heroes apart from the plot? Like, do you think, like, we're going to have Spy Kids in it? Because it's after their parents have been kidnapped by alien invaders, the children of Earth's superheroes. Does that mean multiple superheroes, as in more than Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Or are there more kids that are from Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
I feel like it definitely has potential to be a sort of... Oh, what am I trying to think of now? There's a really great example of this where, like... Oh, I know what it is, and I've just called it a great example, even though I absolutely fucking hate it. It's Scoob, okay? Now,
Oh, no.
when I say it's a really great example, I know what I was thinking. So... Basically, it's the idea that they're reviving old content into one. So, Muttley and Dick Dastardly was in Scoob and everything.
Yeah, Scoob was supposed to be like an opening to the Hanna-Barbera universe.
Yeah. I definitely feel like that's what the case is. And, I'll just put it down. Yeah, I definitely feel like if we're not going to see them, we'll see references. Because, like... obviously, in the first three, it was Carmen and Junie, and then in the fourth one, it was like these two other kids. One was like played by Rowan Blanchard, and then Carmen and Junie came back as like adults.
Carmen was still in it, wasn't she?
Well, I don't know whether she's still acting, but she's with Carlos Pena, like they're married. So like, I feel like he would definitely be like, yeah, you gotta go back for Spy Kids 4.5,
right.
And official Spy Kids 5, like Shark, We Can Be Heroes. Because that's the thing, it's not called Shark Boy and Lava Girl 2 or nothing, it's called We Can Be Heroes. So, like...
Yeah.
Even though the main plot is about their kid, it doesn't specifically title itself as Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
No, technically not. But it is a standalone sequel to Shark Boy and Lava Girl. It's been confirmed that it is that sequel, which is great because I want that sequel.
I want it,
but I'm so confused as to what it's gonna be. Like, I don't even know if Taylor Lautner is coming back.
I mean, he kind of has to be the dad, bro. So like.
Yeah, I know, but this is the thing. Do we ever see them? Like, he's got to save the
parents.
If
we never see then that's just ropes, bro. I don't want to be a part of that.
I want to see. I want to see an
Girl.
adult Lava Girl and an adult Shark Boy. Apparently, there was a Comic-Con at Home panel, which I'm angry at because I've missed. So I'll just read.
Still up somewhere.
Yeah, so I'll just read what it said here. During Collider's panel of directors for San Diego Comic-Con at Home, which also included Colin Trevorrow and Joseph Kaczynski, Rodriguez shed some light on the presence of Shark Boy and Lava Girl in We Can Be Heroes. The director noted that the memorable duo is a part of the film as superhero parents with a powered child of their own. Shark Boy and Lava Girl show up as superhero parents who now have a daughter who has shark and lava powers. That's what Rodriguez has teased. Bro, so they are going to be in the film then.
But are the characters going to be the film, or is it like... Are the actual actors going to be there
is it going to be Sharkman and Lava Woman, and they're not going to be played by Taylor Lautner and... I can't remember who plays Lava Girl.
I will find out.
I always thought it was. I always thought it was the same person who plays Carmen, but it's not. It's Taylor Dooley. Oh my god, they're both called Taylor. Taylor Lautner and Taylor Dooley.
Bro, absolutely mad. And I won't lie to you, right?
Madness.
Like, wow, just yeah. I mean, listen, right? Taylor Lautner, like. Let's face it, he doesn't look that different than he did when he was like, what, 5, 12?
Apart from the spiked up hair and the shark teeth.
Well, bro, but like, don't we all have shark teeth?
Well, I mean, yes, sort of.
Is that not something you have?
They're just at the back, right?
We'll have to have a chat afterwards.
Alright, okay.
I think I have to explain some stuff to you.
Maybe I have to go to the dentist.
Bro, hold on a second. I did not realise that these guys were like in their late 20s. I thought they were in like their mid 30s. Oh my god.
What? Taylor Lautner?
Taylor Lautner and Taylor Dooley.
Nah, they were young when they were in stuff.
I don't know why I thought they were kind of, but there we are.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, sorry. Well, let's wrap that up, but all I will say is I'm excited, and please give us the dream world from Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Yes.
But give us like a really cool concept version of it.
Oh, imagine if we get the same version. I wouldn't even be mad.
Imagine if the soundtrack starts with a really cool riffed, like a hardcore guitar version of Dream, 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 Dream.
No.
Dude. Bro, that's got to be the world that they go to, right, in order to save their parents?
Absolutely, bro.
Oh
Absolutely.
My god.
That's probably where they are.
Let's get off this film that probably other people aren't interested in, but I'm so excited. Okay, so I've seen 2 trailers from the Comic-Con at Home. I did send you links, so I hope you have seen them. One of them was Hellstrom. What did you think of the Hellstrom trailer? We're getting the last thing from Jeff Loeb at Marvel doing his TV stuff before Disney Plus came in, and Hellstrom was already done, so it's being released on Hulu. Fun fact, Disney now owns Hulu.
Right. Well,
so,
that's, a thought.
So I believe all of the stuff that they can't put on Disney Plus because it's too edgy is going to be put on Hulu.
Oh, I don't want that, because then I got to subscribe to Hulu.
I don't know about in the UK. In the UK, we might just get on Netflix because we can't get Hulu.
Fair.
So,
I hope so.
Actually, it might work out better for you.
I mean, yeah, bro, like, I'm keeping Netflix for the time being, so I hope so.
For the time being, come on, man. Netflix has got some bangers.
It has.
And plus, even it's got old stuff I always rewatch on Netflix. Yeah, Netflix is just a mainstay in all households at this point. So what did you think about it? What do you think about the Hellstrom character in general? Do you understand his backstory from the comics, or do you want to quick rundown?
That's why I don't feel like I should give much input, just because I won't lie to you. Like, today's the first time I've ever heard the name. So, like...
Okay, cool. So Hellstrom is kind of, I believe in this trailer, supposed to be the version of Hellstrom that's sort of like a John Constantine for DC. He's the magical side of Marvel, and he's worked with Doctor Strange a couple of times. He is, for all intensive purposes, the son of Satan.
Lovely.
Yeah, he's Satan's kid. And he has a sister who is also Satan's kid. But he's super powerful, and basically, you know the way that realms work in Marvel, right? There are multiple realms in which Doctor Strange can visit, right? And multiple parallel universes and stuff like that. So in one of them, there is a realm called Hell.
Okay.
And
I mean, that's put us in like. You know, that's a very new thing.
Yeah, but like Hell doesn't exist in the normal world.
Right. Okay.
It's not it's like not a magical place. It's not a biblical place. It's nothing to do with the Bible. It's nothing to do with anything like that. It's just it's a realm in which, like, the same type of thing as where Dormammu lives. He lives in that realm. There is a realm in which you can visit that is a parallel world called Hell.
Okay.
And Hellstrom's father is the ruler of that world, and his name is Satan.
Right.
Hellstrom is a good guy, and he obviously has this dark power inside him because his father's Satan. His sister has the same thing, but he is more powerful than his sister. Now they're like a duo, basically. The thing is, his father came from Hell to our realm, and married a woman, and had 2 children, and then revealed himself, and he was like, I am Satan, by the way. You know, this white picket fence in this house I've been paying a mortgage for all this time? By the way, I'm Satan. And then he goes and does Satan stuff. And then he's locked away. In Hell, obviously. In his realm.
Yeah.
Now, Hellstrom is super good at magic. He's super powerful because he's Satan's son, but he's also really good at magic. It's not satanic magic, he's just good at magic in general. In fact, there are points in which, when we read the diaries of Doctor Strange through some of the comic entries, Doctor Strange's number 1 contender, a lot of the time, to take over as Sorcerer Supreme is Hellstrom. He is super good at magic, but the thing is, he also has satanic magic that he can use, or hell magic, Hellstrom magic. That he can use, and it's not something he likes to use because of obviously the dark things behind it. He is one of Marvel's most powerful people, but in a specific context as well, because he's really good at magic outside of the Hell realm. But if he goes into the Hell realm, he is the same power as his father. So he is basically the ruler of that realm and is mega powerful. So if he ever dragged anyone to the Hell realm, he would just be able to beat them no matter what. So he could be like a massive villain, but he's not. He's Hellstrom, and he's trying to be a good guy, and he does this magic detective stuff.
Right. Like, he definitely sounds like a character worth making a live action rendition of. Like,
yeah,
and
because
the fact
he's
that
like
now
in the same way as Legion, right? He's super powerful, but with limitations. In the realm of Hell, he's all powerful, and outside of the realm, he can still use the Hell powers, but to a lesser extent, and he has to rely more on other magics. I don't know if they're gonna go around the other magics route in this. It seems like he does just use Hellstrom Hell magic. But you know the woman we see that the sister and him speak to, the mother, right?
Yeah.
In the trailer, she says she's released something. I think his dad's back on Earth, and that's the point of this series.
Right.
So he has to hunt down Satan, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be like a detective-y type show, all leading up to the actual finding of his dad and then fighting his dad. But he has his sister on his side, obviously.
I'm tuned in. I'm ready for.
I'm ready
watch.
for Hellstrom. You know what I'm not ready for?
What's that?
Them to cancel it after one season because it was something Jeff Loeb came up with.
Oh, bro, you've had to go there, haven't you? You've had to.
It's gonna happen, mate, and I'm so devastated because I love Hellstrom, and this is another one of those things of like,
this man's out here being devastated, full on devastated over something that hasn't even begun yet.
I know I'm distraught because you know in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Yeah.
Didn't watch that show. Wasn't interested in that show. What I did watch, every Ghost Rider episode.
Yeah.
Because I love Ghost Rider. Guess what? Ghost Rider was supposed to have a spin-off TV show that was very much in the same vein as Hellstrom, as he had to go be the Rider in another universe that was at war, because there are many, many realms and many, many universes that are all at war. It's just Earth doesn't know about them.
Yeah.
And he was about to go be the Rider in a spin-off show. And I was so ready for it. And Jeff Loeb was like, yep, that's happening. And Jeff Loeb was like, Hellstrom's happening. Hellstrom's on its way. We're going to make the show. Uh-oh. Disney Plus. I'm basically fired. And now we already have the Hellstrom show to release on Hulu, but we're never getting the Ghost Rider show. If Hellstrom gets cancelled after one season, fair enough, I got one season of Hellstrom. But two, when do you think we're going to have the opportunity to see those characters again?
We're not.
We're just not. They're not going to do Ghost Rider stuff in the next 2 phases if they've already just cancelled those projects.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things in which it's not even the fact that I'm sad that it's not going to get multiple seasons. I'm sad that it's just not going to be around at all, and Marvel are going to put it on the backbench because of like creative decisions they've made. But they don't even know fans' reactions to this. What if this is a fan favorite show and they still cancel it because there's no people to make the show anymore?
It's honestly like, it's concerning that they'll cancel things and they won't go forward with things just due to, obviously, like, ratings are a big part of it anyway, but just due to consideration.
It's always due to like creative differences, right?
Yeah.
And even with creative differences, right? So they fire the guy that makes the show, okay? But they've still spent the money, so they're still going to run the show, right? But they're not running it on TV. They're running it on a streaming platform. So,
yeah.
so it's 100% a tax break. We already know they're not paying to put the TV show up, and they're not trying to get advertisers for the TV show, and they're not trying to keep it on a network. They're not risking a network with it. They're not risking the TV show being good or failing. They're not putting it anywhere near a network. They're going, this is going on streaming, and we're gonna get a tax break off this because we made this show. We already spent the money. We got to do something with it. It's the same thing they're going to do with New Mutants. But I think New Mutants, since the last trailer, looks so fucking good.
Yeah, it
Doesn't it look quite good?
I've always said it, but I want to hold out for the film and I want to have high hopes for it because I want there to be some... I want... If the film ends up really bad, I'll say, okay, yes, fair enough. But if it ends up being good, I want to be able to say, I was there for it. Do you know what I mean? I was there and I was rooting for it.
It's a momentous occasion.
It's building up more hype, bro. Like...
Yeah.
And it's not that much at all, but, it's better than what it was, to start with.
It's a lot more colourful for a start. Do you know why I'm so much excited for this film? Is because the director has actually gone back and fixed the things that he wanted to fix in it. But also, it's got some of the greatest, little mutants. Do you know what I mean? We're getting, who are we getting? We're getting Sunspot in it.
Yeah.
Why? For a start, but also great, cool Sunspot. You know what I mean? Magic, Wolfsbane, cool shit. And I don't like horror, and I know this is gonna be horror, but just gotta watch it, right? I've just gotta watch it because it's something that I'm attached to now for so long.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just gotta think, stop questioning it, stop questioning the, the reasons why, and just go, just hope, and
Yeah, and I
just be
swear
there
to God,
for it when it happens.
because Josh Boone's the director of this of the New Mutants, and he said like that he had a plan in which this was going to span multiple movies, and that originally Marvel was completely on board with them doing this. Well, the other studio was, but that Fox was completely on board with him making multiple New Mutants movies, right? And he has this 3-movie plan. If this film is good, give the man the opportunity to make more, please, because we're only asking for good films.
But that's the thing. I feel like even if it's really, really well, they'll just say no because of what happened with the first one. We don't want to risk it again.
Yeah, I know, and that will really irk me, because if we get like the same thing that's happening, not that is happening, but that I feel is going to happen with Hellstrom, but on a big movie basis, and we get attached to characters, and then if we ever do see, unlikely, if we ever do see Wolfsbane again, or Sunspot, or, Magic, they're going to be recast, I'm going to be so pissed. I'm going to be so pissed if I liked it, that is, right?
Yeah.
But then again, some people may like it, some people may not like it, and someone's going to be heartbroken. So
Absolutely. And, it's not going to please everyone at all. In no way. It's not going to please most fans. It's not going to please
it
most
already
non-fans.
doesn't please me in a little way, because I'm not a big fan of horror. But I'm going to watch it because I am a big fan of some of these characters.
I like to think, right, that there's someone out there who has no idea what the New Mutants is, has no idea the history it has, and closer to the time they're like, oh, there's a new film coming out. They go to see it and think, it was a pretty good film, I enjoyed myself. But, had no idea that it took 3 years to make, had no idea that it almost came out 4 different times. I want there to be someone who finds out, within the month or within the 2-week period, and goes, I'll go see that. Goes to, obviously, if cinemas are open, whatever. And then they watch it and they think, yeah, I enjoyed that, and just have no idea that what went into it. Because even though we want to appreciate it for how much has gone into it over the years, if somebody if somebody who doesn't know a thing about what's happened and can enjoy the film, then that's saying this, then it's good. Then no matter what critics say, no matter what diehard fan, it's
if it does well, it does well, and hopefully they'll want to make more of it. But they might just think, okay, that's a fluke, and then move on. Which I hope they don't do. Okay, so our next trailer that's going to be a little bit less ranty, because we've done a lot of ranting today, and we got to get onto this film soon, is Arch Enemy. This looks good.
It looked good. It was very short. It was a lot shorter trailer, but...
Do you want to know the synopsis?
Go for it.
The film tells the story of Max Fist, what a name, played by Joe Manganiello, who claims to be a hero from another dimension who fell through time and space to Earth, where he has no powers. No one believes his stories, except for a local team named Hamster, played by Skylan Brooks, and his older sister Indigo, played by Zoli Griggs. Together, they take to the streets to wipe out the local drug syndicate. Please make sure his powers are real. But also, even if they're not, what a great twist, right? So,
yeah,
it's Arch Enemy. I don't think it's based on anything that I know.
It doesn't sound like... It doesn't sound like it needs to be too complex, which I think...
I think it's a film that's been kickstarted as well.
Is it?
Yeah, so it's by Legion M, and Legion M is the world's first fan-owned entertainment place, or whatever.
Yeah.
Entertainment people. So, it's got investors, I guess. But you can also invest. So I'm guessing it's fan... It's fan-based.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's kickstarted, not with Kickstarter, but with this Legion M brand. The world's first fan-owned entertainment company. And it looks so good. And for something that is being funded by fans, Yeah, I think this is super cool.
This is what I was going to say. Like, it doesn't sound like it's a plot that needs to be too overly complicated. Like, it looks like something that can, hold its own.
Yeah.
So I feel like that definitely benefits.
They've already dragged me in with the synopsis, and the trailer just looks cinematically sound. So, knock on wood, this is gonna be fucking great.
Hopefully, bro. Like, literally, knock wood. I want it to be...
Mate, and you know what? Name one other actor that I like personality-wise other than Joe Manganiello. I probably can't. The dude is super cool. He obviously loves comic books and comic book characters, as he said in a million things, but also he loves D&D.
This is the thing. I love Joe Manganiello, but you've just kind of said that you can't name any other actor that you love that much when, like, the past God knows any podcasts have been, like, you stating how much you love Ben Affleck, so, like, just...
we
almost got them two fighting each other, Deathstroke, I don't know.
Yeah.
He was
to be fair, you're right. It's not even that I love him as an actor either, to be fair. I really like just him in general, like, as a person as well, because you see him a lot playing D&D.
Yeah.
So you get to see his, like, personality come through and when he role plays and stuff like that. Oh, super cool. But yeah, he's just a massive nerd, and, like, I love seeing massive nerds, especially jacked ones, playing nerdy roles and doing the nerdy stuff.
But it's like you see him playing D&D, you see Henry Cavill building his gaming PC, and you just sat there like, see, that could be me, but it's not.
Yeah, it could be me, but I just, no, apparently not. You know what? Hot take, Joe Manganiello could have played Superman.
Absolutely, bro.
Like,
Joe Manganiello could have played a lot of characters. I wouldn't lie. Like, he would have made a pretty good Aquaman. Like, I wouldn't change Jason Momoa for the world. No. But, like, he could have if they wanted to.
Yeah, Jason Momoa sort of made that role his, even though Arthur Curry is blonde and blue-eyed. But,
Bro, I've just now remembered that you're sat there, bro. And I'll say no more, but you've just said something, and oh my god.
Do I announce it? Or shall I wait until I make the video on film form for people to realise?
Well, listen, bro, I mean, like, we have a small podcast community anyway, and this comes out on Friday regardless, so, bro, that's, it's up to you.
No, go on then. Okay, people. I've bleached my hair bright white blonde. And when I say bleached my hair, it's not frosted tips. My entire head. My entire hair, all of it is bright white blonde. I am bleach blonde, atomic blonde, I believe it's called, right now. And this is weird for me, as I've never dyed my hair, and I've never bleached my hair. So, randomly, out of nowhere, everyone thinks maybe that I've had a breakdown.
Bro, I'm gonna see you now after lockdown. You got bright blonde hair, and we jacked as all hell, and you just, like, your voice is just gonna be, like, the most, like, deepest and richest like voice. Rock. Yes, bro. Bro, you're gonna be the Rock with blonde hair. You're face to face with anxiety, and it's strange.
Oh, me, on a daily basis. Yeah, this trailer looks great. What we'll do, moving on swiftly from the fact that, spoilers, guys, I'm bald. Not bald, blonde. Is we will quickly run through Parasite, as that was a great film. But yeah, I believe there's probably going to be a little bit more news, but we'll probably save that for next week anyway, just in case. So, what we watched this week was Parasite. Overall, Nathan, was this film a banger or not? As this is I believe our first film we've watched that has been Oscar awarded?
I believe so. I don't think we've done another one yet. I'm not too sure.
No, we've done quite a few TV shows, and then Bloodshot definitely didn't have an Oscar. Neither did Mallrats, and neither did Onward. So
Onward, yeah. It came out in cinemas, it won an Oscar, blah, 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 and it was like, yeah, someone I should see. Me and my dad wanted to see it, we never got around to doing so. So we chucked it on. I wouldn't lie to you, the first, like, kind of few minutes, I was like, yes, good film. Obviously I have to. My subtitles are a bit delayed, so it was a bit like kind of weird to catch on.
Yeah.
But I'll just say about mid film, I was hooked. By the end of the film, I was in the film, bro. I was like, yes, I am here, and I am scared for my life.
Fully immersive. Wow, was this film well made? There is, spoilers, CG in this film, and it is seamless. It is so
seamless
at all.
And if somebody hadn't said there was CG in this film, you wouldn't know.
You would definitely not know.
Like, there was literally, like, there was a scene where there was a news reporter on a phone, and I said to Joel, I was like, that scene is entirely green screen. And he's like, oh, well, you can tell, can you? I was like, nope, I've just seen the behind the scenes. Otherwise, I would have not been able to tell at all.
No, 100%. And I agree, because I couldn't tell. I thought she was there.
What did it win the Oscar for?
Oh, mate, it won loads.
What did it win the Oscars for?
I'll tell you now, it won Oscars, including our favourite actor from it, the dad. He won a Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance.
Good.
My guy, was such a great thing.
Well needed.
And the son, he won Blue Dragon Film Award for the best new actor.
Nice, bro. Imagine being that. Imagine having your first feature like proper film and winning an Oscar straight away.
Well, as a Blue Dragon, but yeah, the film won an Oscar. The son, mad thing, he's 30.
What?
Yeah.
Bro, I would have said...
Korean people don't age, and I'm not racist.
Bro, literally, I would have said 19 to maybe mid-20s.
Mate, 30. And yeah, so... Yeah, I'll go over the awards, the film one now, actually, because I think that's something that's interesting to look at. But it was so good. Yeah, I'll go over the awards. So it won the Academy Award for Best Picture, just overall. It won a Palme d'Or, which is like a different award, but it's not an Academy Award. It sweeped the BAFTAs. It won an Academy Award, which, by the way, guys, if you guys don't know, is an Oscar. It won an Academy Award for Best Director, an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. There was, I believe, 2 or 3 actors that won Guild Awards, Screen Actors Guild Awards for outstanding performance. Obviously won the Academy Award for Best International Feature. Won a Caesar Award, won a Golden Globe for the Best Foreign Language Film. BAFTAs sweeped it for Foreign Language Film. Critics' Choice, Best Director. Was the other BAFTA award it won? It won Best Original Screenplay BAFTA, Independent Spirit Award, Robert Award, Writers Guild of America Award. It won so many awards. It's literally won like 20 awards, maybe even more. I can't even count how many awards, but it won 4 Oscars.
Cool.
And
good.
And you know what, bruh? It deserves it.
Bro, it's like these films you'll watch, and it's like that have got Oscars, and you think, yeah, it deserves an Oscar, but I don't see why this deserves an Oscar over, for example, blah blah blah, this film, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
you
can
also say, like, yeah, maybe it did deserve an Oscar, but the thing it won it for is a bit weird, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, the stuff it won it for with this fits perfectly. And the Actors Guild Awards as well, perfect. Yes, they did so well. Like, Kang Ho Song, the father of the Parasite family in the film, won an Actors Award, but so did Ki Jing, or Park So Dam is her name. Great name, by the way. Park So Dam won an award, and she plays Ki Jing, the sister, and she won an award for outstanding performance, and I believe so did the son, Ki Woo. And they were, to me, some of my favourite actors. Like, definitely, if I had to pick a top 3, it would be the father, the son, and the daughter. I like the guy who played Mr. Park as well, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he played that character well. yes, oh man, it definitely deserved the Oscars. I will say that it was such a good film. When I watch foreign films in general, like I'll watch Japanese films anyway, because I'm used to watching things with subtitles. So this was like no problem for me. I watch anime, so that's subtitles. But just in general, I watch Japanese films, right? Because it's just it's one of those things where like I try to impart myself into the culture and stuff. I'm learning Japanese. It helps me learn, but also like Super Sentai, that's all in Japanese, and it's got subtitles. So the subtitles didn't bother me at all. I think that is where most people are gonna go, should I watch this film? It's a foreign film and it's got subtitles and I'm not gonna be able to understand them. No, dude, the emotion is translatable. The emotion is international. You feel what they are feeling when they say it, to the point in which if there were no subtitles, you still know their emotions.
Literally, I was just going to say, there's a certain point, like, in the second act, where it cuts, and from that point forward, I feel like you didn't need subtitles, you could follow the film.
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't speak Korean. It definitely helps to speak Korean or see the subtitles, but like I see, like from the first half of like this segment I'm talking about, because I don't know where exactly, but somewhere in the second act, it's the development of the story, and the development of the characters and the building of the story. And then I feel like you can cut it, get rid of all the subtitles, and you can just watch the film and it'll work, and you can see
the story as well. I'm so glad it won for screenplay stuff.
Yeah,
the story is brilliant. The name of this, Parasite, you think you know the meaning behind. You do not know the meaning behind it.
Well, because realistically, so the word parasite in the vein that we're talking about is essentially like making money and taking advantage of people with money, and like
it's being a leech on other people in society.
Yeah, pretty much. Taking advantage of what other people can give without giving anything back, essentially.
Yes, exactly. And like I called them the Parasite family earlier because they're the first family we follow, and they seem to have been parasites. But they are not the only parasites featured in this film. And there are a lot of parasitic relationships, in which like you expect that every person in the original family that we follow is going to be a parasite. But in fact, like throughout points in this film, I realized that the daughter of the rich family is actually the parasite between the son and the daughter.
Yeah.
She is the parasite on him because, and the mother knows it at the start of the film when she's hiring him as a tutor. This isn't a tutorship for English. She's hiring him for a potential relationship with her daughter when she becomes of age. And it's one of those things of like the mother is a complete parasite of the rich family. She does nothing. She can't do anything. She's incompetent. The father, who is with the mother of the rich family, basically Mr. Kim's wife, Mr. Kim's wife is the parasite because Mr. Kim is the only person that makes money in that family.
Do you know what it is, right? It's like, there's so many different perspectives of it. Like, first of all, you think it's just them, because obviously they devised the plan to all get to work together. Do you know what I mean? To work in the same...
Yeah, they work for the same people family, because they have this rich family, that they all want to work
But then, you've also got them then having to leave the house, which kind of flips it on his head in this... Oh, bro, I just can't... Because it's like, let's be honest, there's some vivid scenes in very different ways. There's a lot of, like, gruesome, gory scenes. There's also, like,
I wouldn't say there's a lot, but there is some, yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, but when they're there, it's a lot. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's the in quotation, sex scene, which is, like, it's not really sex, it's all over the clothes, but, like, it's still very much,
Yeah. And do you know what it is about that scene that I think is perfectly crafted? Is that it's not inappropriate for the audience to watch, but it's inappropriate that they're doing it in general, which makes the audience feel uncomfortable.
The people are under the table, obviously they don't know, but the people are under the table. Was it their son, or it's just the kid in general? It's the kid the kid with the bow and arrow and everything. He's like just outside the window in his tent.
Yeah, he's outside the window in his toy tent, which is, supposed to be rainproof, so it's a rainproof toy tent that we don't know if it's going to keep together, right? And outside, we don't, it's lashing down. It's like a really, uncomfortable scenario. These people are hiding. The Parasite family is hiding from Mr. Kim and his wife because they're on the sofa right next to a table that three of them are hiding under. And then they start like a sexual encounter. And then during the sexual encounter, it becomes more uncomfortable because then the daughter of the rich family messages the son of the Parasite family and says, and starts speaking to him. And then he has to, turn the vibrate off his phone, and all this uncomfortable stuff is happening during the sexual encounter, which makes the sexual encounter even more uncomfortable. And then she mentions the fact that her son is but moments away, right? And then it's just like, it's such really good crafting of a scene just in general, because the position of the shot list and the position of like when we see everything happen building up to just more and more uncomfortable scenario, and then eventually when everything stops and they try to get out, you realize that this son living in this rich house is in a waterproof tent, but a toy one in his back garden that is really high up. And then they hit the streets when they leave the house. And then they find out that their basement house is completely flooded.
This is something I was just going to say, just in the middle of it all. Like, obviously, they're trying to escape. The dad's moving away. And then they get up because of the walkie-talkies going off and everything. And he has to just lay there. And then, obviously, at the end of the film, he's, back in the basement of the house. So it's like, we get, like, that's the, like, ruthlessness of him. Which we kind of see at the start when the house is like being like fumed out and he's just there boxing sorting the pizza boxes.
Yeah.
Like the father gives no shits whatsoever. Like he was just laying there when they woke back up, and then he proceeded, and then running down the street while he was tamping down.
Yeah.
Finding out their house had flooded out because just like at the start of the film, they always leave their window open.
Yep.
Like, Jesus Lord.
Yeah, there was callbacks as well. There was a lot of callbacks. There was personality traits that the family had all together. Like the fact that the family was such a unit as well. The parasitic family, I was always rooting for them because they were the unit, right? They were the people that were like, you would assume something was going to offend one of them, but they were like, oh no, that's fine, because they knew they were all in it together. Even the son, who had a chance, and who has had multiple chances, including the daughter, who had a couple of chances as well, in which they could, go on to, leave their parents and live a better life. The son could have gone to university. The daughter could have done something with her art skills. She could have even been a con person, like they say at one point in the film. But instead, they are there making sure that they can provide an income for all of the family. Everything they do is always for the benefit of everyone rather than just themselves. In their family unit, which is why I feel that you are always rooting for them, even though at some point they are doing the bad things. Like when the guy loses his job, the driver, when he loses his job, you don't know how to feel about that because it's not his fault. And then when the maid loses her job, that one hits hard.
That's the thing though. It's like you're not supposed to be rooting for them.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why it adds on, like, obviously it's not as uncomfortable as the other scenes, obviously, but, like, deep down you're not supposed to be rooting for them, but, like, you just can't help, but you are, and you can't,
and I just feel that's masterful acting, that's masterful storytelling, and it's just the way it's been directed. Which is, it 100% deserves an Oscar for direction. Because, the director is, in part, somewhat, responsible for the acting and the performances that come out through the cast. The cast delivered amazing performances no matter what the director did, I think, in this case. Right? They really did well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, like, the director is somewhat, in charge of what happens to the actors and what performance they give, but also he's just crafted these scenes in such a way in which, like, they're laughing constantly. Everything's a positive with them, no matter what. You know, you root for the father from the very start because, one, he's like charming in the way that he, you know, makes people laugh, even though they're in a terrible, terrible, terrible situation in which they can't even afford, you know, basic amenities. And then, you know, and he's still laughing about it, and he's still doing as much as they can, and they're doing as much as they can for each other. And then there's this new skill that he learns, you know, the pizza box thing at the start.
Yeah.
And you're like, this guy's a good person. He's not a good person, but he's a good person to the people that he's supposed to be good to. And like he does in this film, I feel he does his job as the father. Like he really fills that role for me. He's not just acting the role of whoever that father is, because that's a character in themselves, but he fills the role of father in that family, and you really believe that he's their dad.
But there's no, like, I said from the start, like, the dad is my favourite character in this.
Yeah.
Like, really. Like, he makes the biggest sacrifices out of everyone, but I feel like, personally. But he also just...
He also had self-respect.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying... I was trying to word it in the sense of... I was going to say he was the only one that really understood his own...
Yeah.
Like, reasoning for everything, but yeah, that's the way of wording it. He had his own self-respect, whereas everyone else were kind of... They didn't know what they wanted.
Yeah, they were quite young, naive, and the wife was very much, you know, a wife that was serving the father, and the father was, you know... But she had her own personality as well. She had her self-respect, but, you know, they'd been together long enough, you could see that relationship was still full of love, because they were both struggling together.
Yeah.
But, like, the father and stuff, and about the smell later on in the film, and stuff like that, you know, just when he did that, like, I was like, you fucked it up, but also, thank fuck you did this. Like, thank the Lords that you did this, because it was obviously something that really hurt him, because he couldn't help the way he smelled. And he couldn't help the things that he was doing, and the fact that he was being judged based on those things, you know, they expect a certain thing from him. You know, and he's, you know, because he's their driver and stuff, and they expect a quality of living that he probably didn't live in. But also, it offended him on an even deeper level, because they were judging him not as a poor person, which he already didn't mind being judged as a poor person, because he was that. But he was being judged as just a person that didn't take care of himself, or didn't take care of his, you know, family, or, you know, he smelled bad, and the old radish smell, all of that stuff. Just the fact that when he had self-respect and stuff, and, like, you know, the son passing out, right, is a theme throughout the film, in which we're told at the start of the film that the son's a hypochondriac, and that also most of the things that he says about art is a lie, and, you know, we're told that by his sister, right? The son passes out when stuff goes down and people get stabbed, and that's fair enough, right? But they're trying to hold in his daughter's wound, and then they're like, give me the keys to the car, we have to get my son to the hospital.
Even though it's a regular occurrence,
even though it's
so
just,
know...
he's just passed out.
Yeah, and he hasn't at all been... Because originally I thought, like, wait, did the knife, like, stab him as well? Because he was behind, like, why is he being the centre of...
No, he just passed out. And this is something that's happened before. And, you know, it could be something, you know, but it could be nothing. And also...
Nowhere near as bad as stabbed in the left side of the chest, you know, specifically.
Yeah. But also, this is another thing as well, right? So, you know, when it was described that he passed out before, and the mother was saying it takes 15 minutes after a child has a seizure and stuff, you got to get into the hospital within those 15 minutes, or otherwise, you know, bad things could happen, and that's a child's life and stuff like that, right? This was all because he saw that ghost at the, you know, when he was in first grade, and this is why she does this thing, and she's so protective of him. But that was a real person.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, the things that they think are mentally wrong with him aren't mentally wrong with him. He saw a real person, and it looked creepy as hell, because we saw him seeing that guy, and he looked cracked.
Yeah.
Like, it was, you know, so it's one of those things of, like, she's a hypochondriac about him, he's a hypochondriac about himself and stuff, but there's someone literally dying in front of you, and then the fact that he takes the time after he throws him the keys to pick them up and then smell and be like, ugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just like, thank God he gets stabbed. And I think that's the thing. And also the hints throughout the entire film that he doesn't actually love his wife.
Yeah. I kept saying, because there's the thing I kept saying is that, because you said you think they're going to come out on top, and I kept saying, like, they're, someone's going to die, something's going to happen in a form of someone getting badly hurt, and obviously, that happened, like, the daughter did. But, like, in terms of the husband and the wife, like, originally I thought he was going to be that the wife, when they find the underwear in the car, I thought he was going to end up being the wife's, and, like, well, no, you know what I mean. Like, I thought that we were going to eventually find out that the wife was also doing it, right?
Yeah.
But obviously that wasn't the case. And it was just their plan to get everyone gone. But the thing with, like, the hot sauce, like,
that scene was so good.
No one batted an eye at this new family, and I definitely feel like it was because the husband just didn't give a fuck about, like, his family in general.
That's what they said as well when they were all drinking. During the point in which the family was supposed to go camping, when they were all drinking, they were like, it's not because we're good con artists, it's because they're so gullible and they don't care.
Yeah.
And, like, when I was reading those subtitles and stuff, and I hear the emotion in the father's voice, because again, it was the father that said that. The son says something to the daughter of, in the fact of, like, we're really good at this, and, like, and we could keep this going and stuff, and we can earn a really good living here, because they are actually doing the jobs.
Yeah, they're not just, like, hustling about.
So, like, and the fact that we tricked them that we're really good, and then the father pipes up and he's like, we're not good. It's just that there's such a lack of sense, and that they're so gullible. This is the reason we're in this position. And, it's really, it's a bad sort of thing as well, when you look at this film, and although I love comic books and I love movies based on comic books, we don't have enough of these films made here.
We don't.
Like, we are getting more and more comic book movies, and I love comic book movies, and I love superheroes, and I love characters like this. But once in a while, I would love to see another Parasite. And this is the thing. There's another film featuring the father in it. Which is another Korean film that I've heard amazing things about. It won Blue Dragon Awards, but it didn't win Oscars. But the main character of the film is the father that is in Parasite. And it's called A Taxi Driver. And, it's supposed to be a really, really good action drama. And it was made in 2017, but it was based in the 1980s. And there's a foreigner in it, and a foreigner is one of the main characters. The plot of the film is, in 1980, a foreign journalist hires a down on his luck taxi driver, aka the father from Parasite, to take him to Gwangju in South Korea. They soon arrive to find a city under siege by student protesters and the military. So, like, shit goes down, and it's a film, right? It's a cool film. Also, Parasite won the Palme d'Or.
Yeah.
That's the Cannes Film Festival Award.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? This film. Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna watch the a Taxi Driver, which also, you can watch with subtitles and stuff like that. But the father definitely did deserve the acting credit that he got, because he definitely acted the shit out of this film. Okay, so let's move towards the ending, and then we'll give our ratings and stuff and things like that. The ending. Do you think he gets rich and buys the house?
See, this is the thing, because obviously there was the guy, he had to run back and he had to lock it up really quickly because there was guys coming and see the house and all that. But then we just see him walking out, and then, was it his family? Or was it... Because obviously...
No, it was his family because he hugged them. Yeah. It was the son.
Because we didn't get a time frame at all, did we?
No. So he was like, I'm going to earn some money. I'm going to get a wife and all of that stuff, and then I'm going to buy the house. But first I need to go earn money. And then we see like the sequence of him, his wife, looking at the house, and then after they buy it, his mother and him in the garden, and then eventually his father comes up the stairs and hugs him.
Yeah.
And at this point, the reason, he looks different is because he has like red hair and stuff, and he looks successful. And he has like long, the Korean standard of long, nice hair.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to him finishing the letter that he's trying to send to his father. And I don't know whether he actually does it or whether that sequence was him telling a story, because as we have seen from the narrative in the film earlier on, when we're getting told about the child, the bow and arrow child, and about the cake story, we see a cake that isn't there. And there is parts in the narrative where we're being told a story and things are happening that aren't really there. But then that cake does become real. We see the child eat it, and then we see the man under the stairs. Or the man, down the stairs. Which does snap us back into the real reality of what actually happened. So do you think it's a reality in which it could happen? Or do you think it's something that does actually end up happening?
Like, there's so many ways I could answer you right now, but I'm just gonna go with the simple way, so I don't go in too much and overrun us. I feel like, I can't answer it, because
what do you want it to be?
I want it to be that. Right. Okay. So hear me out. I want it to be so that. So. Give me a rough time frame of how long you think it was, like, in the future.
Well, how far in the future?
Yeah.
Well, that rich family would have had to have lived there and then moved out. So I'd guess the kids had probably grown a bit older. So at least like maybe 10 years.
I think it took him. I forget his name, but the main son, the guy who's 30. I reckon it took him, I'd say, 5 years before. Obviously, he was able to understand the Morse code and all that. I reckon it was 5 years before he really understood what he needed to do in life, right? And then from that point on, he just slowly built up, and he never forgot about his father, but he kind of lost track of why he was doing what he did until he got into a position where he was like, damn, I'm really in a good place right now. And then I reckon there was not so much another house, but their family definitely moved up and up and up until eventually they were able to get to obviously the house he's staying in.
Yeah, I don't think they stayed in that that house. I think he lived his life for 10 years until he could afford the house.
Yeah. But I reckon there was a lack of connection between them for a long time, because obviously he kept doing the Morse code light signal. I feel like there was a decent amount of time where there was just no
he just
conversation
didn't speak to his father.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah, because they say so long in the letter.
Yeah, exactly. And then eventually one day he just came up and the entire thing was moved. And his family was outside. Yeah,
which is what he says to do at the end of the letter when we buy the house the next time that the house is sold and we buy it. We just want you to come upstairs and we'll be waiting for you in the garden.
Yeah.
I hope that's what happens. And I hope they get to live out their life, and the mother and son live in the house and stuff, or even the son just lives in the house with with his wife, and his mother comes over a lot and stuff, and then they get to see the father, who obviously will still have to live there because he's a fugitive.
Literally, because like obviously this isn't a film that's gonna get like a sequel or nothing. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not a film I want to have a sequel or nothing, right?
No. There could still be stories to tell in this world, but no, I agree with
absolutely.
you. It's not a story that's likely to get a sequel.
Yeah.
But if there was, damn hell, man, whatever this guy who directed Parasite does next, I'm on board for it. I'm definitely 100%.
Even if there's like a form of like novel,
Bong Joon-ho fan.
Yeah, but even if there's like a form of novel or something.
Well, he directs English films.
Does he?
Yeah, he directed Snowpiercer. Same director.
Damn, never mind then.
It's the director who directed this Parasite, directed Snowpiercer, 2013 film with Chris Evans, who also has the dad in it, Kang Ho Song. He's in that Snowpiercer. So I feel like he probably has a connection with that father, because he's been in quite a few of his films. Another thing the Bong Joon-ho has directed, he directed Okja.
Yeah.
And that came out in 2017. So I believe he's probably going to make more sort of things. But he made short films, which is interesting for us as filmmakers, because I would love to see how he made his short films and learn from them. Because a man who made the short films in 1994, 2003, 2011, 2008, 2004, he made these short films and then went on to make a film like Parasite. There's got to be so much to learn from his earlier work and his inspirations and how he's grown. But he's also going to be an executive producer on the new Snowpiercer TV show, so that's going to be cool.
That's going to be dope.
I'm not sure. Should I look if there are any plans for a Parasite sequel?
Yeah, or just any form of
Yeah.
continuation. No, well, not continuation, but like in-world thing.
Yeah. Here we go.
See if there's any form of
that's
not good news.
Not good news. But we'll see. So these are the two things that I have brought up for us, which is will there be a Parasite sequel? Here's what we know. And basically, it just says the creator has never made a sequel for any of his past films. And given that Parasite ends with his signature tone of uneasiness and discomfort, it does not seem like he will break his pattern now. But another source has said this, which is HBO have spoken to the director in length about two possible things for Parasite going forward. One, an American remake starring Mark Ruffalo.
Okay, cool.
So an American remake of the film, which I don't think it needs. I think it has some Korean elements that are very much Korean and work for the film's story a lot better. But it could work, but also a HBO spin-off television series.
Listen, right? I don't want them to break what's not. I don't want them to try and fix what's not broken. But I mean, if they feel like they got something going for it, absolutely.
Well, the spin-off television series that was pitched to the director, because obviously it's got to be the director that signs off on it, and he's not keen on making sequels, so hopefully he doesn't. But the series that they pitched to Bong, he stated that it was also titled Parasite, and it would explore stories that would happen in between the sequences of the film. So the film we watch as a complete story, you know, there are obviously days in which they are all doing what they are doing in that house. So this would explore stories in different points of the film.
Again, see, to me, it just seems like something they're just trying to milk.
Yeah, exactly. But what I have got here is that a statement from a statement from Bong Joon-ho, which says, "If I do not have any more stories to tell, then I will not be telling those stories," which is good, because he's literally said here, he said in better words than that, he stated that the series is very much something that HBO has pitched to him, and not something that he has taken interest into as of yet. If he had more stories to tell, HBO may be a platform that he uses to tell them, but that is also not something that is certain. So, you know, that's something HBO is trying to get him to do. But I think it works just by itself, man. That was a good film, and I would watch more, I guess, if they put it out, but only because of him, because he's a good director.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I probably wouldn't watch more.
Just connected up with the pod then. In terms of, you know, rewatchability / would you want to watch further? What would you say?
Yeah. Let's pop that out now. Would I watch further? Probably a 2.3. I will watch more of his stuff, but if it's not done by him, then probably not interested.
Agreed. Okay. Would I watch further? Would I watch a TV show? Definitely.
But also, actually, I've given that too low a score, because we always do that as would I watch it again, rather than as well as would I watch it more. I am definitely watching this again, because I know there are certain friends that would love this film, but they won't sit through it because of the subtitles unless I'm there.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to watch it again. So I'll give that a 3.5. Overall, what are you giving this film out of 5 for just enjoyability and how much you enjoyed it and what you think of the film?
How much I enjoyed it, I definitely give it a 4 out of 5. I feel like it's a very adjusted rated, just because it took me out of it a bit, just because of how out of sync my subtitles were. So right. I think it was more just the viewing.
Yeah, to be fair, my subtitles were also
film.
out of sync until I changed monitors to halfway through the film. I changed to a different setup, and they were all up to date then. I feel that the characters portraying the emotions, to me, sort of trumped that. I think this is just, for me, like a 4.7 out of 5. There are very minor holes that I would pick through this, and I want to give it a 5 out of 5, but I feel like there are probably some things that during a rewatch I'll regret giving it the 5 out of 5 for. But just, for the performances alone and stuff like that, you know what? Do I do it, Nathan? Do I give it a 5 out of 5? Because I really enjoyed this film.
Bro, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 just because it's genuinely there's, like you said, there's films that get nominated for Oscars that you think but I don't see why this other film didn't if this did, and also but why those specific categories.
Yeah.
But this film deserved every Oscar it won, and if not more.
Yeah, I think.
So I feel
right there,
definitely a 5 in terms of,
for me. It's a 5. It's definitely a 5 out of 5.
But I mean, I feel like I can't really like taint the enjoyability I had just due to the subtitles, even though it did take me out of it a bit, just because they weren't in sync.
Yeah.
But
I will say, just so I haven't just completely praised the film altogether, if I was to have anything to say about negativity at all, I don't think it was paced badly. In fact, I think it was paced perfectly. But due to something that I was doing at the time of the film, like I have a thing of sitting still for a very long time if I'm sat up. So I was in pain for some of this film, so that's a bad thing. But also,
it did feel very. It felt like he was making each second worth it, and which isn't a bad thing. But in result, it did. It was a long 2 hours.
It was a 2-hour film, and I think although I enjoyed every second of those 2 hours, maybe because I know the director is skillful enough to. Maybe he could have made that shorter. I
definitely feel like
also
there was some
just
stuff that we
the other
didn't need.
thing of like the woman, right? Mr. Park's wife. Her personality when she's speaking to her friends on the phone is one that we had never seen before throughout the entire thing, and then all of a sudden she was sort of this a little bit of a diva.
Yeah.
And like she was, not as kind to the staff while she was on the phone, which is something that we hadn't sort of seen before. So I think that maybe came out of nowhere, but then also maybe that's just a character trait of hers that is, when she's around other people, she shows off. Because the other character developed, the other characters that we saw her interact with earlier on, it was just them and that character. So, genuinely, I think this film was great, and those are like really minor things to dig out, but it just, if I had to. Shall I wrap us up then, Nathan?
Wrap us up, bro, with to another 2-hour podcast, like.
Oh, gee, we always do this. Do you know what? It's a really slow news week, but every news week that we get slow is we just manage to go on a rant about something. Last week, it was... Nathan, we forgot to do our star signs.
Oh, bro, our horoscopes. We'll do it next week.
We'll do it next week.
We'll
do it next week, guys. We're running out of time. The Batcave is all the lights are going out. Okay, thank you everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed this week. If you got this far with us, please do like and subscribe. It helps a bunch, and also the thing that helps the most is to tell a friend. If you enjoy the podcast, or if you enjoy the films we watch every week, and you enjoy finding out what we think about the films, then please tell a friend, and create some watch parties. Get some friends around, watch the film, and then later on maybe you can listen to the podcast, and maybe some of your friends can listen to the podcast. But thank you everyone again for watching. Interact with us as much as you can. We are available here at live from the Batcave, live from the Batcave. Chuck us a YouTube comment, or you can get in touch with us separately at our different YouTube channels. Mine is JP Lee Productions, and Nathan's is of course Film Form Studios.
Word.
Okay, cool. Thanks everybody for watching. And next week we will be watching 4 episodes of Stargirl, because we're just going to finish the season off on the pod because we started it, and that'll be something fun to do. So yeah, and we'll see you next week.